We are sitting here in beautiful Prince Edward Island. We had a long day, not a super long day. We get up late. We're on our way into the racetrack right now. It's 8:30 at night here, 7:30 at night in Ontario. And just finished watching Havana Una in our race. Finished second in a maiden. They went in 58-2. She didn't look as good as she did last week. I talked to Jason, just sent him a note briefly afterwards and said, we have these issues we have to deal with the filly. Her right knee bothers her a little bit. Her feet bother her a little bit. We had her shod last week. Qualified her 2 weeks ago. Qualified her and then raced her. She looked fantastic last week. Didn't quite look as great tonight. That's okay. I mean, it's in the middle of the summer. She's got a stake race coming up next week. Regardless of what you think, 58-2 in Northfield's still a pretty good mile, especially for a 2-year-old trotting filly. And she has sire stakes next week in Indiana. A little bit of work to do with her, but we'll get that done. Earlier on in the day, really blue chip raced. I thought she raced kind of flat. So did Scott. He said he's going to figure out what's going on with her scoper. I mean, she looked like she raced a little sick to me. Trotting wise, what's the problem? Trotting wise, she's trotting good. Got away on the front, released the favorite to the lead. I said, wow, second would be awesome. It's 13 grand. Second turned into fourth pretty quick. Halfway down the backstretch, she was all done, and really the only horse that stayed trotting. She finished last of all the horses that stayed trotting, I believe. So some work to do there with really blue chip, but she get paid. She got a little drink today, $5,000 we made. I guess there's not a vet really to scope in Monticello, and Scott said he was going to get her scoped when he got her back to the races, and then we raced 5 this afternoon. Ken Holiday made his training and driving debut, I believe, with Yours If You Want It, and that was, I got to be honest, what I thought it would be. The reason we caught a little flack for sending the colt to Ken Holiday. We had a number of clients that said, listen, this is an incredibly talented colt. We have him in the sale. Nothing wrong with Jason, but could we get him looked at, maybe by another trainer? And Ken Holiday's got 5,000 training wins or something, 4,000 or 5,000. He seems to do well. But the problem we have with this colt is, again, managing expectations. Yeah, he's got a lot of talent. He's also got a lot of attitude. And that's the problem that Yours If You Want It has, is that he's got a bit of a bad attitude. So I'll be talking to Mr. Holiday and Greg tonight about the colt. He looked like he was out of sorts and acting up right up his alley. Anyway, want to get an update on him. The reason we did this is we have the sale coming up. He's in the sale. We know how good he is. As far as I think his talent does not match his attitude accurately. I think he's got a lot of talent and a really bad attitude, and I think it bodes really poorly for him overall, and that's how he made himself into the sale, was acting like this and doing things like this. Not the first break he's made. He didn't make a break on us, but he'd made a lot of breaks before, and ultimately I guess it was the wrong decision to send him over there, or it looks like it may have been. It's my job to make sure in this case, we know what we're dealing with. If I had the horse in Ohio, I think I would have sent the horse to Ken Holiday also. Sometimes shake things up. Sour horses like him shake things up, and sometimes they come to life, and he certainly didn't tonight, at least not in a good way, this afternoon. So it backfired, but at the same time, I wanted to make sure we looked under all the stones before we sent him off to the sale. I want to know what he's worth going into the sale, and is he worth retaining? Is he worth letting mature? This is going to be, you can stop right now. This is going to be, Ollie thought it'd be okay to drop ice cream all over his shirt on the way into the track.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I didn't even see it.
You didn't see it, I know. That's 100%, I believe 100% that's an accurate description. So, not the end of the world, but with the colt, I know it's frustrating. I'll take the blame for this. I'll take the blame. It's my fault that the colt ended up at Ken Holiday's, and he's got a couple of more starts before, at least 1 or 2 starts before before the sale, I believe, and we'll see what happens there. What I'm looking for is an accurate price range of what we're going to do with this colt. Do we want to retain him? Is his attitude bad enough that we just don't want him a part of the stable? That's a possibility. And if it's not, if it's something we can work with, or something we hope that he'll mature away from, or we'll always have a horse with a bad attitude and but a lot of talent, can we work with that? I need these answers, these questions answered, and I just thought that if we shook things up a little bit, we might get to see a different Years If You Want. Guys, stop. You might get to see a different Years If You Wanted, and we didn't. Same attitude, same horse. So we'll work with that, and I'll talk to Ken tonight, and we'll see what we... Oliver, that's enough, bud, please. And we'll formulate a plan moving forward. Bend Over, I caught a lot of flack because I said there'd be no more hobble breaks. Technically, the hobbles didn't break. The rope, the hobbles, everything was good. A small rivet broke on the... A rivet broke, and it's obviously not funny, but at the same time, not something you could detect. And certainly not something that usually breaks. Bend Over wears his hobbles a little snug, as a couple of our horses do. And make no mistake, this is the root of the issues we have, is that we have a lot of horses that do wear a snug hobble. And when they do that, they're prone to breaking the equipment. This is terrible view. They're prone to breaking the equipment. And what we did was I brought 3 brand new sets of hobbles that I had made down to Jason. Used them all. They were all in the races leading up to Bend Over. Bend Over had a set of hobbles. They'd used them all year. There wasn't an issue with the pulley. There wasn't an issue with the rope. No issue at all, except a piece of metal, a rivet on the casing of the hobbles came undone and allowed the hobbles to become detached, and Bend Over made a break. So a lot of frustration in that regard also, because this is a colt I'm trying to set a proper price on for the sale. We likely will retain this colt, to be truthful. He's a small colt. I think he's got a lot more to offer, and I believe our clients believe in Bend Over's ability in 2020. I can't really blame them. He's okay, and he could be a better horse. He's bred to be a better horse, so he could mature into being a better horse. Adeline's getting a little frustrated. What else do we have? Years If You Want at Bend Over. Crazy Mission made a break. I get over with Crazy Mission. Crazy Mission's a decent colt, but he's quirky. I know him, and I know how to get ahead of him. I know how to stay ahead of him, and I know how to race him. And I certainly can't be mad because Jason McGinnis can't get Crazy Mission around. It's not his fault. It's not his forte. Jason has done a great job training, but when it comes to driving tricky trotters, Jason's not alone in that boat. He'd have a problem with Crazy Mission. I was hoping he'd be able to get him around, and turns out he struggled with him. Made a break, ended up back in the 2-hole in the last turn and made another break. And, you know, Jason feels bad about that, but I don't blame him. Crazy Mission's a tricky colt to drive, and I'm hoping I can sit behind him once more before the sale and get a flat line on him. I know I can. I thought he raced well at Northfield. The only reason he ended up in the sale, I mean, there's a number of reasons. Obviously, now he probably would have ended up in the sale. But the reason he ended up in the sale was, guys, the reason he ended up in the sale was he's small. And he trotted in 59-3 in Northfield when the other colts were trotting in 57-58. Is he going to mature into a better horse? He's a small horse. So, again, you know, for our clients out there looking, I am the vast majority owner of Crazy Mission. And if I'm not going to give the colt away, I'm not going to give a horse away that I can rest for 5-6 weeks, bring back, race in the condition claimers throughout the winter and do well, I'm not giving them away. So I'd like to sit behind him once before the sale. And then sometimes things happen. It looks like he raced good. It's a big colt racing on a small track. The fact that you pick up first, second, thirds and do well is a feather in his cap. This is a colt that's got the right idea, the right attitude, beautiful gait, and physically he's really coming around. So I've been very happy with that colt. I think that's it for Ohio, wasn't it? Years If You Want, Crazy Mission, Bend Over, Sometimes Things Happen. I'm missing a horse.
Valiant.
Oh, Roser and Valiant. He was second also. We put a screen on him today because they said he shied away from the tote board the other day at, where was that fair? Whatever fair he was at. Urbana. He shied away from the tote board, and we put a screen on him, just like you'd see on a horse in just like you'd see on a horse in the field, a fly screen. So put that on him. He wasn't quite as sharp. He was trying to look at stuff. That horse, he frustrates me to no end because mature-wise, he's a complete idiot and not a smart horse. And is understanding, I think he understands a lot more than he lets on, and it's frustrating to deal with him because he simply should be a better horse than this. He'll come. Physically, he'll come. Mentally, he'll catch up. But, hopefully it's at the right time. I think we get one more stake race in Delaware, a few more fairs. I don't know where he sits in points in the Buckeye standings. I would like to see him make the Buckeye final, but we'll see. And then obviously the most frustrating part of my day, aside from, I wasn't really frustrated with Havana Unana. 58-2 is nothing to sneeze at. She's a nice filly, and I don't think she was as good as she was last week, but that's not the end of the world. I think there's a reason for that. Yes, car, I'll take care of it. I think there's a reason for that. Then I had to watch Knockdown Dragout make a break. My God almighty, the last thing I wanted to see. I'm on my way to race Brave World. He's in tough. I'm going to do the best I can with him, see if we can get him in the final. But Knockdown Dragout, that was a kick in the butt today. That was hard to take. Matt Kikali drove her perfect, rolled her right up into position. The exact same thing she did to me in the Doherty. I wish I had more answers right now. I don't. I have to speak to Andrew about the filly. She looked sounder to me in the post parade. She looked comfortable going up to the gate. I don't know. So I'm gonna have to talk to Andrew and see what the plan is with her. Obviously, she can still race on the 19th if she's sound, if everything's good. But this making breaks where she wouldn't before is a bit bewildering. So that's it in a nutshell. Not a great day. I think we picked up some checks again at the fair. Some good experience for the colts. Some good experience for the colts. Thank you. And Havana Unana raced decent. She raced decent. Anytime your 2-year-old trotting filly can, as I said last week when she won in 58-3, anytime you have a 2-year-old trotter trotting 58 on a half-mile track, you have to be pretty happy. What's going on there? An accident. Colts were good. Really blue chip, although she was poor. She was poor. She was weak. We get paid. She made another $5,000. I think Scott, he called me right after the race and texted me, and I think Scott knows that we're up against it here. We're in a division where there's a lot of really good horses. I wouldn't mind racing her in the consolation, but even to do that, we have to have a fresh filly. We have to have a sharp filly. We have to have a healthy filly. She looks sound to me, so that's good. But we need a sharp, healthy filly, for the rest of the season. And clearly that wasn't the case today. It's going around. Certainly nothing wrong with, I'm not making fun of Scott in any way, whether it be John's barn, Andrew's barn, and there are other horses too in that barn. It's not like it's just our horses in that barn. It's horses in general. So that was it. I need a lot of luck tonight with Brave World. I hope he races well. I'd love to get in the Gold Cup final. I take flight tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. out of Charlottetown's airport to go drive Overdue Mission, Ale Sun, and Susie K. Caught a little flack from the Queen Bee over going to drive those horses, but at the same time, I love Overdue Mission. I love what she's been doing, how she's been doing it. You're not gonna mock me. I see you over there. I hear that. I love what she's been doing, and she is a tricky filly, and I don't want to be making a video tomorrow about, hey, I'll have to talk to Jason to see what happened with the filly. I'll know what happens with the filly tomorrow, and I suspect, I would hope it would be somewhere, we'd find her in the winner's circle tomorrow. Very talented filly, by the looks of her morning line, very underestimated, and I think she's sitting on a big mile. Ale Sun dropping down into the golds, into the Buckeyes. Caught some flack over that also, so I'm going to protect my hand in that regard tomorrow. I'm going to drive her, and then Susie K, we all know she's going to do everything she possibly can tomorrow. And then Wednesday, the big guns are out. We got Globetrotting, Spend That Money, and Compass Rose DC. And then Thursday morning, first flight back to PEI so I can spend the last 3 days of Old Home Week with my family and hopefully racing the Gold Cup and Saucer. So that's today's video. I made it a little early because I don't know. I got to get up at like 3 a.m. to make the flight. So I don't want to be doing videos at 11 o'clock and asking Kelly to post them. So I thought I'd do it now. So wish me luck. We need a lot of luck for Brave World tonight. We didn't have a horrible day today. We did if you're the owner of Knockdown Dragout. I'll get back to you when I talk to Andrew in print. I'll send out an email for that. But otherwise, the day wasn't a waste. It wasn't horrible. It was okay. Not the shining points we were looking for, but at the same time, not the end of the world. So that's it. That's your video for today. What's today? Tuesday? Monday? Monday, August 13th? 12th? August 12th or 13th?
12th.
August 12th, Amy says. She might be wrong. She might be wrong. August 12th, we'll call it, even though it might be the 13th. 2019. Talk to you guys soon.